Hi everyone, this is Julie from Heart to Hand, and I'm here to share another project with you, albeit a little bit late. This project, it was meant to be finished in January and we're now mid-February, but oh well, I've finally got it finished. And what inspired me to do this project was actually my last one, which I showed you, was the December daily project I did. If you haven't seen that one, I'll leave a link for you to have a look at it. But when I was doing the December daily, I had to take photos every day for that album. And what it made me realize is that I actually don't take very many photos, and life is just passing by and I'm not capturing it. And so it was really good for me to do that and really understand that I need to be getting a little bit better at that. I don't know about you guys, you're probably really good at taking photos, but even when we have an event, I seem to get really tied up with preparations and cooking and serving, and then just, you know, talking to everyone there. I really just forget to take photos. So I'm really wanting to be more intentional this year of taking photos. I've got two little beautiful grandsons, age 3 and turning 5, and I just really want to capture those milestones for them as well as the rest of the family. So I thought what a really good way to do that, to keep me on track and keep me disciplined, was to create a project that Kathy has designed from Paper Phenomenon. And it's called, let me grab my note, I've written it down to get it right. It's Project 365 Hybrid Folios. And why it's called Project 365 is because it's a year-long project, which I am really excited about doing, and I'm hoping it will keep me on track with taking photos. So they are hybrid folios, meaning they're a mix between a mini album and a folio. A folio usually just has soft covers, but these actually have chipboard covers, but they have more of a folio feel on the inside. So they are a cross between a mini album and a folio. And Kathy's divided them into quarters, so you can purchase them as quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4. So I've bought them all, but this particular project I'm working from is from quarter 1. So if you're interested in making these, I will leave a link below to that tutorial. Once again, you get videos showing you what to do. Kathy provides all the cutting guide with all the measurements. And what's really amazing about this, what really made me amazed, is that every album is actually based on the same design. So Kathy has produced a base album, and then every month she changes the pages around. So, you know, different pockets, flaps and all that sort of thing. And you'll be amazed how different each of these folios look. It's just incredible that they all start out the same as this base album, and yet with different paper, with different page setups, they just look completely different. So I'm really stunned by that, and Kathy is very clever in being able to do that. So this one that I'm showing you today is actually the January one, and yes, we are in February, as I said, running a little bit late, but it's as I said, I'm hoping to do one each month. So now I've finished this one, I will get started on the February one. So I'm going to share with you, hopefully, if I keep on track, each month the folio I'm making. And I'll also share with you the paper collection that I'm using. These are quite big in size. They are, let me have a look, 11 inches tall by 9 inches. So this is the large, but when you purchase a tutorial, there's also a cutting guide for mini hybrid folios. So you can make a smaller one, and I believe they are 7 by 9 inches. So they are a bit smaller. I've opted to go for the larger size just because I want to focus my albums around 4 by 6 photos and 5 by 7 photos. So I wanted a bigger album for that. The other great thing about this project is Kathy has a storage box tutorial. You have to see that to believe it. It is just stunning. It's like a chest. It's like a piece of furniture. It's absolutely amazing and beautiful. I can't wait to make that. And what's so lovely is all 12 of these folios will fit into that. So how beautiful will that be at the end of the year? If I keep on track, for me to have the whole year captured in photos and stored beautifully in this beautiful box. So that's what I'm hoping to do. So let's see what happens along the way. But anyway, so this is the album, January's album that I've started with. I thought I'd tell you first of all what I have used. So the cardstock, I'm using black as the background because I think that just makes the paper pop. And I'm using just this Francheville cardstock. It's 176 GSM. I found that to be a really nice weight. I picked it up from Spotlight if you're in Australia. There's 25 sheets in a pack, so I went ahead and bought enough that would hopefully cover all 12 of my folios. And I've also bought the white as well. For the photo mats. So that's what I'm using for my base pages, and I will probably use it for all of them unless I change my mind and go with a different color. But at the moment, I think that's the way I'm going to go. Now, the paper collection I've chosen to use is one that I just had and I wanted to use it up. It is called Lavender Love Collection by Couture Creations. And again, I picked this up from Spotlight if you're in Australia. It's a very pretty, based on lavender, beautiful designs, and you'll see some of them in the album as I take you through. I've used a lot of these, but I'm still matting, so I'm going to be using more. I also bought the this is 6.5 by 6.5 inch paper pad. I found that really handy too for the smaller bits and pieces that I was matting, so that was good. It also comes with really lovely embellishments too, and this album is by no means embellished, so it's not finished because I really like to do the embellishing as I add the photos. So I don't know about you, you might like to embellish beforehand, but that's how I like to do it. I kind of like to put my photos in and then put these on top as I go along. Kathy uses in her tutorial a metal one of these little fasteners here. It's like a swivel fastener. Now in Australia, I found them very difficult to find. You used to be able to buy these really easily. I don't know what happened, but in my search, both in the store and online, I found just near impossible to find. So what I ended up doing was, on Kathy's website, she has what's called an SVG bundle. So if you have a cutting machine, you can purchase this, and it gives you files to be able to cut different shapes. And in this one, it's called Essentials SVG Bundle 1, and I'll link that as well. Under tags, she has a file to cut these little fasteners out. So there they are there. Now they're much bigger in the file. I just sized them down. In hindsight, I probably could have made them a little bit bigger. I think they're probably a little bit small, but it's okay, they're doing the job. And they're just cut in the black cardstock, but I glued 2 together, and you can actually glue 3 together if you'd like, and that just makes it a little bit stronger. And I just used a black brad in it. So that's how I've fastened most of my pages, with that SVG cut file. But I'll link that below in case you're interested. So that's the paper collection I've used. Now a look at the album, or what I should say, hybrid folio. So you might notice on the spine here, this beautiful hand lettered January. My daughter actually did that. I'm hopeless at hand lettering, but she does a lot of planners, beautiful planning layouts, and so she does a lot of this hand lettering, and she very kindly did that for me. And I'm hoping that she'll do all of them, so they'll look really nice all lined up in my chest. And if you're interested in planning and like to do planner pages and planner spreads, I'll leave a link to her Instagram in the description box as well, and you can have a look at her beautiful spreads she does. She's very talented. So on the back, it's just some plain wood grain type paper. And then on the front, this is all part of the tutorial, this in the front. Now I've put a bow on mine because I found as I said, I was using these cardstock ones. It wasn't strong enough to hold my little flips in place, so I've had to put some ribbon on it to hold it, but I quite like the ribbon. I think it looked nice as a trim. So the way it's meant to work is it just flips like this, and then we have these flips, and these actually come out, so you can remove those. They're like little slots in there, so each one can come out. So that's a really clever design idea by Kathy. But as I said, it's meant to just fasten there, but because this was a little bit weak, every time I opened the page, it sort of kept flopping open. And that was a little bit annoying. So I decided to go ahead and just create a bow here. So I'll just do that up so it doesn't fall open on us when I open the page. So, but I think the organza ribbon sort of added to that soft look, and these are just embellishments. Embellishments out of the embellishment pack. So I'll open it up. So here's the first page, and there's a envelope, and there's some acetate, which I love. Kathy uses a lot of acetate, and I really like it too. And there's for the closure, there's this little card that slides in and out, and it holds this flap down, so it acts like a lock. So for this little card, I think I'm going to use this as a journaling space because it's quite narrow. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing with that, not sure. And then in here, there is a photo mat inside. It's quite large and just matted. Now this is, maybe if I turn it this way, hard to get it all on camera. As I said, I want to do mine just with 4x6s and 5x7s, so I'm going to be able to fit a landscape, so it goes this way, a landscape 4x6 here and 2 portraits here, and the same on this page, a landscape and 2 portraits will go in there. So, and then I've just matted the back, and that goes in there. So you can see the matting in here is the two-tone, which you'll learn in the tutorial, and I've done the same on the photo mat as well. So that just goes back in there, and then that just slips in there to lock it. Genius, genius. Okay, this side is a bit of a flip out, but this is a pocket that sits on top. Again, another photo mat that I've put on here, and Kathy does a lot of this paper piecing matting, which I love because you can actually use all your scraps. It's a really great way to mat. So, and that opens up. I've just made this into a little pocket here to put another 4x6 in there. So that will just sit in there like that, like that. Just matted the back, and that just sits inside there. Then that opens, and I've got another 4x6 here, 5x7, and as I said, I've left these areas blank, but I've got all those lovely embellishments that I just showed you that I will be, you know, decorating with later. So that's another layout, 4x6, 5x7, another 4x6 here, and then this is just a mat for a 4x6 photo, and just again photo spots here, and that's just a little belly band that will hold it in place there. So sometimes I've added the white photo mat, sometimes I've just left it with the black depending on the space I have. So that goes like that, like that. And then the next page is an envelope style page, and here's these little fasteners again, so we just pull those down there, and that's my envelope. Move it down a little bit, it's better. And then I've just got these 2 photo mats in here. I was playing around with some scraps with these photo mats, so they actually open up. These are for 5, I can fit 5x7s here, and then that folds over, and then that's a 4x6 photo mat that just slips in there. And I've used a punch. Let me see if I can reach it, and I'll show you. It's a very old punch. Here it is. It's a Fiskars one called Sunburst Border. You probably won't be able to get it now. I've had it for many, many years, but I've used it throughout this album. I like using punched edges. So that's that one, and this one's the same. So I just had these sort of scraps of card that I wanted to turn into photo mats. That opens there. Isn't that paper pretty? You know, this is kind of like a what I would call a minimalistic, clean design, which is unusual for me, but I really quite like it. I like the way, you know, with all the white, and I was a bit hesitant with having the black cardstock with it, but I think it turned out okay. I think it turned out okay. I'm normally more of a busy person. I have a lot of things going on, but this is more of a cleaner look for me than I normally have. So this is one of the embellishments I've popped on here. It's on the belly band, and this comes out. It is another photo mat, again 5x7s will go in there, and then this is a kind of like a waterfall flip. So I'll have the 4x6s going in there. Whoops, spent my word there. And again, this one folds down as well. So plenty of room for photos in this album. And this, the photo mat acts as like a locking sort of mechanism that sits on top. Very clever, very, very clever. Okay, and then on this page, this just turns around, and then it just opens up, and it's kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to get it all on camera. There we go. It's just like you know, a fold out, not an accordion, but kind of like that. And again, I've got room here for both portrait and landscape 4x6s, and it just folds up like that. Folds up and then locks over like that. And then it's actually like a belly band. So behind here I have, this will be for just a 5x7 on both sides. And again, another, I just had this left over, this one, so I just decided to pop it in through this belly band, just for somewhere to put it. This is what's great about these things. I love having belly bands and pockets, because if you have more photos, you can just create more mats and just tuck them in. So there's always room for more. And how cute is this little pocket here? Again, this is acetate, an acetate center. I love how Kathy's designed the acetate to be in the flap as well. Really, really pretty. And there's just a plain photo mat in there. But I really like how the pieced matting looks, and you will learn how to do that in the tutorial. And that's a 4x6 will go in there as well. So that sits there. And again, these are those little cardboard closures I showed you that just hold it shut. And we'll come down here. We have 4x6. This is just a loose one that I've matted, and this is one of the embellishments that I've just stuck onto this page just to hold that in place. And we've got a 5x7 there, and then this is a nice big pocket, and I've just got one photo mat in there, and you'll learn how to do the photo mats as well. It's really nice, and obviously this is such a big pocket, I could put quite a few in there if I wanted to, but I'll see how I go with photos. That's that page. And then this is just a layout for 4x6 photos. Again, another layout for a 5x7. And then these are 4 pockets and just photo mats for 4x6s in these pockets. So they'd probably be nice with little tabs on top, I think. And then I've just added one of the embellishments here. It says moments down the bottom. Isn't that gingham beautiful? Reminds me of a tablecloth. It's lovely. Okay, 5x7. Another layout here for 4x6s. And then here we have some pockets going on. Okay, so we have a stacked pocket here. We've got 2 pockets. So on this one, I've just done a simple photo mat for a 5x7. That slips in there. And then this is a larger one here. And again, I have used my punch to decorate the spine. And then I've done a layout. I did this one because what I realized was all my 5x7 spots were all portrait. I didn't have any landscape ones, so I thought, I better add a couple of 5x7 landscapes, and I've added a couple of 4x6s in there as well. And that's the back. So that just sits inside this really big pocket, like that, like that. Sorry, I keep going off camera. And then this is the final page. This is the last pocket. And you remember the first one had that lovely little locking mechanism. Well, Kathy shows you that you don't have to do that. You can just have one of these. I could have had two actually if I wanted to, but I've just used one in the middle. So that just opens like that, and I've just put one of the beautiful, that was from the 6.5 paper pad. It's just smaller images, which is really handy. And again, this is matted with the two-tone matting, which I really love. The inside is exactly the same as the other one. And I've got a beautiful, some beautiful paper on the back there as well. But I love how the matting looks nice, even without the photo mat in there. So when you put the photo mat in, you kind of change it a little bit, which is really interesting too. So that sits in there. And that's it, and that's the end. So not a lot of pages in there, but wow, I can fit lots of photos in there. As I said, if I get extras, I can slip them into those pockets or the belly bands. So I hope you like this one, and hopefully I will get started on that February one and be able to show you that one as well. But in the meantime, I hope you all take care, and I'll catch you. Thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next video.